Well, the next item up tonight, I would assume, definitely Art, you're probably the main person, no pun intended, person to describe this. Maybe with some assistance from Paul if needed?
Yeah, absolutely. Paul's my right-hand man.
That's right.
That's right. So, as we talked about at a few other meetings, this is to award a bid for sewer work from Phillips Road to Tibor Road. And it's upgrading the 12,500 feet of conveyance pipe, as well as replacing 57 manholes. And along with that, we are looking to the future to upsize a little bit more pipe in some undeveloped areas along that path. So Morse Pipeline was a low bid, and we're asking for a resolution to award the bid to Morse Pipeline.
I have no questions.
Questions you have tonight? I don't want to come across as tone deaf to the community, so I'm gonna let this one rip. This conveyance pipe, I mean, the low bid ends up being around
Actually, I can grab this supervisor.
6. Yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry, it's a little bit short. So right, so there was 4 bids ranging from almost $6 million to just over $9 million. So a good range of bids. We believe the 2 high bids were due to the 2 contractors, one being busy and 2 having a little more overhead than the others. And the 2 low bids were about where we felt they should be. So it falls within what we had planned for. Morse Pipeline was de-scoped by both MRB, the town interim engineer, as well as Costage engineers. They actually met de-scope and felt they were more than appropriate to complete the work. And just as an adder, during this bid process, we did ask for a 5% bid bond with submission of their proposal. And all of them did.
Yeah. Larry?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, both low bids were under the engineer's estimate, and they were actually very close in number, but overall we're very pleased.
I was just surprised at the $4 million swing in the bids.
Yeah.
But bigger companies, and I know one of them just doesn't have the manpower. They're busy. They're
Yeah.
both very busy.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Well, that makes sense.
In our proving that, we don't finish each other's sentences, I loved what you just described and what Paul described. You're a little bit more meat on the bone of this, but when I said I don't want to come across to the community if somebody's watching this live or on tape, this is what I'm going to let rip. So this conveyance pipe project is really an upsizing of 12,000 linear feet of sewer mains starting at Tibor Road, which is where the Coke Fairlife plant is being built, and meandering along through the Xerox campus and tying into about a 36-inch main on Phillips. Is that
That's
correct,
correct.
Eric? And when we looked at this project, the town did a couple of things. One, we have been in constant communication with the Coke Fairlife leadership and their attorneys, Charlie, as to the fact that we would not be venturing into this municipal project on our infrastructure if it wasn't for Coke Fairlife coming to town. So it was very important that right from the beginning, Coke Fairlife was on board to essentially pay for this. And Charlie, everything I've seen, they are certainly on board for that. What has moved around a lot, and it's your profession, Charlie, you attorneys, I'll tell you, all jokes aside, you made problems to solve them. But what we were talking about just a few minutes ago, the reason why we did not adopt the original local law 3 to change the one-time sewer tie-in fee is that the Coke attorneys and our attorney with Harris Beach, who's our bond counsel, who's helping us on this, said it would be better to really split the two contracts, if you want to call it, between the town and Coke. One being specific to the conveyance pipe project, and one being more specific to one-time tie-in fee, industrial use agreement to the sewer treatment plant. And really, without getting a lot of detail, that does make the most sense. So this conveyance pipe, along the lines, Art, I think it was Art, Patron, came and said, hey, you know, if we build it to this size, it'll certainly handle the capacity of the current flow that goes through that pipes from current housing and industrial or commercial. And it also will handle the 2 million gallons a day that Coke Fairlife is estimating. But Art said, you know, for maybe not that much more money, we can maybe make the pipe a little bit larger in certain places and have excess flow so that if in the future there is housing developments that need to lateral into this 12,000 linear feet, and or probably more viable is if the Xerox campus gets cobbled up and sold away, some of the parcels there, whoever buys them and develops there might want to have capacity to tie into that main. And essentially, you're talking about a $7 million conveyance pipe project that about 6.7 million of it is going to be picked up by Coke Fairlife, and the town, and I'm using round numbers, is picking up approximately $300,000 of it, because the town made the conscious decision to go with a larger pipe in certain areas to make sure that we didn't basically do a project that we could never in the future have housing or industry tie into. And it's not a straight line, for lack of better terms, calculation, because the excess flow that could go through that pipe for that under 300,000 is about 720 million gallons, what is it, 720,000 gallons a day, which equates to about 4,500 EDUs. I know in this town, people who pay attention to sewer stuff know that EDU is kind of the metric we use. So that's a lot of potential for excess flow, and to have the town really invest under 300,000 for that, for things that could come along, because just, you know, I would put it this way, if in the next 5 years 4,500 EDUs come in and they pay our one-time tie-in fee, Paul, what is 4,500 times 1,000?
4.5?
Is it 4.5 million?
45.
I think it's 4.5 million.
4.5, yeah.
So it seemed like a good investment by the town, knowing that where that area is going to have development, either of housing and industry, and in today's dollars to be able to have that excess of $200,000, $300,000 for the potential of picking up at today's one-time fees, $4.5 million. It seemed like a very good decision. And that's what I meant by I'm going to let it rip on the fear of being tone deaf, that we're just glossing over this resolution. How's that? With that, any questions, comments from the board before we do this?
My comment is it's the right thing to do, because Xerox is dwindling and there's a huge opportunity for other businesses to come in there. And when they do that, capacity is going to be needed. And they will.
Yeah, you always want to plan for the future.
Yep.
Well, can I make the motion to award the low bid for the Phillips Road to Tibor Road conveyance pipe project upgrade to Morse Pipeline?
You want to
And
mention something?
that is the base bid of $5,808,431,000, and the total additive alternative number one, which that's the town portion, right, Art?
That's correct, Supervisor.
Of $258,208 for a total of, is that,
You got added alternate two.
we're not doing alternate two. What's that add up to?
5921670.
$5,921,670. And Councilman Kale, I'm so glad you said, for those at home who saw the summary sheet on the website, alternative 2 was actually to modify approximately 30 manholes, but those manholes would have a lot of risk for change orders, because if they were in there fixing the manhole, modifying it, and they collapsed and this and that, there might be more cost in change orders. Where without alternate 2, the total base bid has 30 new manholes,
That's 57 new manholes.
or however many it is.
And those manholes we're speaking of replacing, we're replacing all, but they're well exceeded half of their useful life. And it does not make sense to try to modify them, like you said. And, common sense says don't modify them well beyond half their useful life. And also speaking with our engineering teams, both Cossage and MRB, they all agree.
Yeah.
Even the contractors say, guys, take those out. And that's why we structured the bid the way we did,
Art, what did you say the amount was again?
which the number of manholes.
No, not the number of manholes. You gave a number, it was like 5.9.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I'm looking at something, I'm adding something different up then.
It's on the second page.
So did you get that motion, by the way, Dolly, or should I read it again? But that's my motion.
Second.
I'm sorry, who made the second item? Supervisor Flaherty?
Aye.
Councilman Cahill?
Aye.
Councilwoman Capaldi?
Aye.
Councilwoman Wynn?
Aye.
Councilwoman Wright?
Aye.